What is going on, guys? SageArtz here, and today I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know about the upcoming anime Sakamoto Days. With us getting our first teaser for the anime earlier this week and a release date of January 2025 for the series, I thought this would be the best time to drop this video introducing you to the amazing story of Sakamoto Days, like I've done with other series I've taken a liking to in the past. I dropped a short earlier on in the year on a similar premise for Sakamoto Days, saying you shouldn't sleep on this manga, but with the anime's announcement and trailer, it deserves another video. And Sakamoto Days has definitely been highly anticipated for a while now, so expect more videos throughout the year. And my fellow manga readers can vouch Sakamoto Days is one of those series. With its immaculate fight scenes, raw characters, and a story that really grabs your attention from its art style, paneling, creativity, the list goes on, you'll 100% want to add this to your watch list for upcoming animes. But today will just be a brief introduction to the world of Sakamoto Days, so disclaimer, there will be minor spoilers, although nothing that will ruin the story for you. And feel free to leave a like and subscribe so you can catch more Sakamoto Days videos in the future. But let's begin. The story of Sakamoto Days begins with our protagonist Taro Sakamoto, who once stood at the pinnacle of the hitman world as the strongest hitman alive. However, after falling in love, Sakamoto traded the life he was living, being feared and revered as the greatest hitman of all time by those in the underworld, for a peaceful one. He retired, got married with the love of his life, had a child, and now due to the peaceful days he enjoys, Taro Sakamoto, the once feared hitman, got out of shape and looks like this. And as tragic as this fall from grace may seem, this situation is much worse than a change in appearance for Sakamoto, as a hit has been put out on Sakamoto due to him breaking the rules of the hitman world since he ran away and left it all behind. With this dangerous development being introduced, we meet another core character in the series of Sakamoto Days, known as Shin the Clairvoyant. And as the title Clairvoyant suggests, Shin has the ability to read minds, and he's also a hitman. One day Shin arrives at Sakamoto's shop, which he runs with his wife, begging Sakamoto, who he greatly admires, to return back to the hitman world. And although he is disappointed at Sakamoto's new appearance, stating he's a shadow of his former self, he quickly realizes that Sakamoto is still somewhat of a problem despite his new lifestyle. In his words, even with the extra weight, he's got an amazing aura. So after leaving Sakamoto's shop, Shin reports back to his boss, who sent him on the hit to kill Sakamoto, telling him that he's no longer a threat. However, his boss doubles down, telling Shin that he knows the rules, that people who run out of the organization must be killed, and that if Shin isn't up for the task, then he has plenty of other people who will. Because outside of obligation, realistically, who wouldn't want the fame that will come with killing Taro Sakamoto, the legendary hitman? So Shin finally resolves himself to kill Sakamoto out of respect for his former partner, since better him than someone else. However, he gets completely outclassed by the retired Sakamoto, who should have lost his edge since leaving the organization. He literally blocked an incoming bullet with a cough drop and was unreadable to someone who could read his thoughts. Shin wakes up later on being surrounded by the Sakamoto family, and during dinner he realizes the peace and new lifestyle Sakamoto was willing to leave the organization to protect, which pushes Shin to plead with his boss to spare his hero Sakamoto, and he even goes as far as being willing to die in Sakamoto's place, which is honestly really wholesome, and we have to remember these two did have a past working together. So Shin's just a really likable guy all around. However, when Shin's boss plans on getting Shin to kill himself and then proceeding to follow through with the Sakamoto hit anyway, he forgets one crucial thing, that Shin can read minds and he heard his plan to do so. All hell then breaks loose as Shin fights against his boss and allies in an exchange of gunfire. And once it seems like it's the end of Shin, the legendary hitman Taro Sakamoto bursts onto the scene with his taser, incapacitating the nearby enemies and swiftly dealing with the rest of them with his superior speed and combat skills. And the first chapter ends with Sakamoto offering Shin a job at his workplace as a new addition to the Sakamoto family. So with that out of the way, let me give some brief introductions to some of the core characters that will be appearing in Sakamoto Days. First, of course, we have Taro Sakamoto, who fled from the organization and retired from being a hitman to protect his new life and family. Although he has gotten out of shape, he still retains a lot of his superhuman skills as an assassin, and currently he has a hit out for his life for fleeing from the hitman world. With the shop he runs in Tokyo, he also serves as his town's jack of all trades, which helps him to keep his identity a secret since he's a detrimental part to his community. Next we have Aoi Sakamoto, who is Sakamoto's wife, and the reason for him leaving his old lifestyle behind. She's very kind and caring, and she also has a bit of a wild side to her, as seen through her jumping off the edge of a building in a past memory when she learned Sakamoto was killing again. Although it was definitely valid that she wanted her husband to learn the value of life, which resulted in the promise made between the two of Sakamoto not killing people anymore. This is one of the forefront rules in the Sakamoto household, and if this rule is broken, divorce. Next we have Hana Sakamoto, who is the daughter of Taro and Aoi Sakamoto, and what else can I say, she's just a really cheerful child who has a mother and father who would do anything to protect her. Like seriously, this is the worst child you want to try and start a problem with, knowing who her father is. Next we have Shin the Clairvoyant, who used to work with Sakamoto as a hitman in the past. Shin looks up to and respects Sakamoto greatly, even going as far to call Sakamoto his hero. And after failing to kill Sakamoto, Shin ends up working at the Sakamoto store as part of the family, helping to protect the life they all now live. After Shin, we have Lu Zhaotang, who is connected to a triad family, and she ends up running into Sakamoto and Shin one day when they're out and about in Chinatown, going to buy supplies for the shop. But you can find out how that develops later on. And last but not least, we have Nagumo, who is a master of disguise and used to work with Sakamoto back in the day when he was a hitman. And all I'll say regarding him without getting too much into detail is he's a problem. Though some of you could probably tell by his face. With that being said, that's it for the video. And you know, I hope this will definitely convince some of you to check out Sakamoto Days because it's really good, not even just for the fights, which is definitely the point that gets brought up most of the time, but the whole atmosphere and comedy aspects too are 100% a personal reason as to why I enjoy this series. And it's a really easy series to pick up. But let me know your thoughts on the video down below, and be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, since it's a way to support me in the channel, and also so I know if you guys want to see more Sakamoto Days videos in the future. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.